Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Saturday afternoon, weekend elite report. Well, not for you. I know, not for the franchise. Not for the franchise. Sunday morning, I believe, for the franchise.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Saturday afternoon for me on my East Coast America style living. But yes, it is a Saturday. Oh, and we got our boy Pluggo in the chat. Goat's doing goat type shit. We have Astrid.
You know it, brother.
We got all our friends in the chat already. As you can tell, as you can see, that is the franchise, Mr. Matt. I am JPJ. It is another edition of the Weekend Elite Report where we will be diving into the week that was of AEW wrestling. And the first thing we're probably going to be talking about is that opening segment of Dynamite, which I feel like a lot of the wrestling world was talking about this week, rightfully so. Yeah, man. But first and foremost, as always, how you doing, man? How you been?
Good, man. Good. It's as you said, Sunday. The weather's meant to be good today.
All right. It's always a plus.
I'm going to live sport again for the second week in a row. So
Awesome.
I can't complain with that. Otherwise everything is just going along swimmingly, as they say.
Beautiful. Love to hear it always. And as Astrid said, don't mind me if you hear my cat whining down the hallway. He's been crying for 20 minutes. We just had a good play session. Apparently he wasn't done, and he's letting me hear about it. So if you hear something in the background, it's just my cat being a baby. But Astrid, we're about to get into that segment, and that segment was exactly that. Fire. I want to say hello to our friend Dara Amazing. What's up? Thank you for always hopping in the chat. And our buddy Tim. Yep. Pluggo knows Lou, my cat Lou. Yeah, being a wine bag out there. Being a wine bag. And Pluggo getting, this isn't a PG show, but Pluggo says he's still all sorts of moist over that promo work. I know a lot of people that don't like that word
out of your
mouth. I was going to say, I know a lot of people that don't like that word. Do you not like that word? That word bother you? What about like a moist cake? Like a moist cake? Okay. Fair.
Nope.
All right. Let's dive into this. So
it's inappropriate.
It is inappropriate. I know, like I said, I know a ton of people that word, and they give them the EBGBs. And they're like, nope, don't like that word. Whatever.
Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
AEW Dynamite starts off on Wednesday. It is in Chicago, the hometown of one CM Punk. Nope. I do what I do. And Tim giving us another, yeah. So, yes, so CM Punk comes out. He is scheduled to have a match with QT Marshall, which he eventually does. But he is interrupted before the match can take place by one MJF. And, this is kind of what we were waiting for, right? Like, I feel like when Punk first kind of circled around and everyone was like, oh, all these matches we want to see Punk involved in, MJF was always mentioned, but I think MJF was mentioned because everyone was like, yo, I want to see the promo battles between MJF and Punk. And this is what they gave us. These guys, from the time they started talking, it was like 19 minutes. It was almost 20 minutes of back and forth promo. For me, amazing. Just lived up to the bill. It was what I expected. I'm hoping, I don't want to see this. I mean, again, you don't want to just see promo after promo after promo, but I want to see another round of these two going at it again, at least from the promo side of things. But yeah, all right. So MJF comes out, says, I bet you don't like getting interrupted, Punk, because Punk obviously interrupted him the week prior. And then MJF kind of goes in a little bit. He says that, he's a little upset that when CM Punk first came back and he was mentioning all the dream matchups and all the people he wanted to work with, that he never mentioned MJF. And the way that this was presented, I really liked it because it's almost like they weren't interrupting each other. You know what I mean?
No.
Like MJF had his long spiel, then Punk retorted, and then MJF did the same, and then Punk again. Like it wasn't a back and forth. It was like, hey, you say your piece, I'll say mine. And I just liked the way it was very much structured. With just kind of at first Punk just sitting in the corner, just straight face, like, yep, say what you got to say. Don't worry.
Mhm.
Just say what you got to say.
Yeah.
So MJF, basically, he says that. And then he starts taking the digs a little bit. And he says, you know what? Like, you're no Matt. You know, everyone said, oh, yeah, the pipe bombs. And, you know, you're known for your promos. But when you're facing me and MJF, like, you don't compete, man. Like, I'm better than you at this promo stuff. And he says, you want to go one-on-one with me? I'm going to finish you quicker than your UFC career. So that was the first real, like, you know, real jab a little bit.
Yeah.
He then says that, you know what, you can drop your pipe bombs, but I'm MJF and I drop nukes. That's what he says. Then we get CM Punk. Good Lord. All right. So CM Punk grabs the mic. Hold on. I got to bring up my notes because there's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So Punk grabs the mic. He says, you know, one of the reasons why he didn't want to mention MJF's name is because he didn't want to feed his already ridiculous ego. And the big first line that Punk says, which the crowd absolutely lost their mind, was when he goes, you know, MJF likes to think he's important. He likes to think he's a revolutionary at what he does. But in reality, he's just a less famous Miz. Oh, my God. And so the way that this was shot, so Punk says that line, the crowd clearly loses its mind, like, just, oh, you know, and the way it was shot, it cuts right to MJF. And
I
MJF,
hope you say what I think you're gonna say.
And so MJF kind of, like, he just does, like, he's leaning in the corner and he says it, cuts right to MJF, and he just goes, what? And he just does, like, that little head tilt, like, and he goes, motherfucker. And then they cut right back to Punk, and Punk goes, bitch. He just like, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
So good.
That whole thing, I was just like, oh. And the crowd's just losing its mind behind them. Like, oh, my God, I can't believe they mentioned them. Like, just everything that had to do with it. It was incredible. It was so, so good.
But the little subtleties like that, like what you just mentioned there, where, like, you didn't hear it on the microphone, but and you probably didn't see it if you were live, but you saw it if you're sitting at home. You knew exactly what they said.
Yep.
You don't have to be an amazing lip reader to know. But it's just those little subtleties is what put this at the tippy top.
Oh, so
for
good.
Me.
Oh, yeah. It was so good. MJF, right at that moment, kind of goes, all right, let's relax. He openly says that he respects CM Punk. And, you know, he says, but he asks, he goes, where's that, and then, I think his face did look sad. It was, yeah. He was like, how dare you?
But the Miz is winning. The Miz has been winning at life for a long time.
Oh, yeah. And, so then MJF, you know, he says, hey, I respect you, Punk. Like, yeah, he goes, but where's this renegade? Like, where's the guy that I grew up on? Where's the guy that I love? Like, this isn't that CM Punk. Like, this is a PG CM Punk. He goes, you might as well be out here preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect, which got another rise from the crowd, as you would expect. MJF then says that, you know, Punk was afraid to come back. You know, maybe it was because he couldn't hang, or he thought he couldn't hang with some of the younger crews or the talent that they have in AEW. He says, or maybe it was because, you know, no matter what, for all the pub that you get and all this stuff, you've really always been second best. Everywhere you've gone, you've been second best, whether it was to the you can't see me man or the King of Kings.
That is indeed facts.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, yes, 100%. And
I'm a CM Punk guy, and that is factual.
Yeah, it is. And he goes, you know, you were gone for 7 years, and you were writing comic books that nobody read and making movies that nobody saw, which was another good one by MJF. Man almighty. And what I did like, though, is when Punk grabs the mic for the last time.
Yeah.
He admits it. He says some truth. He goes, yeah, you're right. I was a little scared. I was a little nervous. I was a little scared that I couldn't hang. He goes, but I'm not scared now. He goes, but when I first come back, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to lie to these people in Chicago. Absolutely not. Like,
yeah.
I was scared that, 7 years is a long time. But then, oh man, but then he says, he goes, the time might not match up, but while I was selling out Madison Square Garden, you were marking out for Rosie O'Donnell. Obviously, the famous clip of MJF on the Rosie O'Donnell show when he was a little guy. And he said the reason why I never mentioned your name is because I know how you operate. I didn't want to feed your ego. And when I knew I was coming back and AEW was the place I wanted to go, the first person I wanted to fight was the heart and soul of AEW, and that was Darby Allin. And he goes, and that just chews you up, doesn't it? And he goes, you know what? And I beat Darby Allin, and I didn't have to use a ring to do it because MJF clearly at the pay-per-view used the ring to beat Darby Allin. And then, Punk starts saying, you never win anything on your own. You have all these accolades, all these wins, but you always have your backup behind you. FTR, Spears, Wardlow. You never do anything on your own. And then he goes, you talk about these pillars, and he goes, you're so caught up in your own stuff that you don't even realize that you got replaced by Britt Baker, which again, CM Punk, this is I think the second time he's openly put over Britt Baker on the microphone like that. So that's a good thing.
He loves Britt. He thinks she's amazing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And then the last really big time jab was Punk he goes, who's number one around here? He goes, it ain't you. He goes, the only way you're going to get number one around here is if we all wait around long enough for Tony Khan to have a daughter and you marry her. Which clear, subtle shot at Triple H as well, obviously. I thought that was a great line. And then Punk kind of talks about the history of Chicago a little bit, which I thought was good. And he goes, hey, you want to call me second best? I got no problem. Exactly, Derek. Goddamn is right. Yes.
Yeah.
He goes, I got no problem being called second best. He goes, you know why they call Chicago the second city? It's not because there's a city that's better than us. It's because when we had the fire, we just built up a second city on the embers. And I thought that was cool. That was a little history lesson of Chicago. That made a lot of sense. It was really good. And he goes, last time I was here in Chicago, I gave everyone free ice cream bars. And he goes, the only thing that I could think could be a better present this time around is punching you in your needle dick right now.
So good.
It's so good.
Amazing.
Oh, so good. And then Punk's already in his wrestling gear, so he just takes off the hoodie. MJF starts taking off the suit. You're like, oh, we're going to go. And MJF, being the wonderful heel that he is, takes off his watch and then just gets out of the ring, grabs his stuff, and he goes, no, not tonight. Crowd starts chanting needle dick. Hilarious. This was 25 minutes of brilliance to me.
Yeah.
It's what I expected from these two guys. We know how good Punk is as a promo. We know how good MJF is as a promo. This is what we've been waiting for a little bit.
Yep.
I feel like this was, it started with the Kingston promo with Punk. That felt like his first real promo. You know what I mean?
That felt more real. Let's put that out there.
Yeah. The Kingston stuff felt way more real. This was a standard professional wrestling promo here. And I think, Tim, you could say sports and you could. I would say that for sure. This was more of a standard two guys cutting a wrestling promo against each other, as opposed to the Kingston one felt like it was like a real, they're going to fight, they don't like each other type scenario. But this was so good. This was so good.
This was two trusted performers who either didn't have a script or they had real small bullet points, and as long as they hit those points, they were fine to say basically whatever they like. And this is what you get when that happens.
Absolutely. I want to say
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank Real Takes Sports for the congrats there. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Continue.
Absolutely. This was just amazing. The first thing I noticed of this was Punk's negative body language, but yet he maintained eye contact throughout everything MJF said. He never took his eyes off him. And then when MJF looked away, when Punk was talking, you can see my dog's doing a running in the back there. When MJF started looking away, when Punk was talking, Punk went looking for the eye contact. He's like, no, you're going to look at me when we're talking like adults. This is what's going to be. Yeah. As you said, the subtleties where you couldn't hear them, but the motherfucker and the bitch comments to each other. In a real argument, those little digs still happen. So that brought a sense of realism to it. The second best to see in Triple H stuff, it's good because it's factual, and MJF just hitting him where it hurts, because Punk openly admits that. Not so much Cena, because he knows Cena's really good, but to be second best to Triple H and lose to Triple H when he was white hot back then was ridiculous.
Yep.
So to me, that was amazing. Yeah.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good.
Second best promo of the year for me. Second.
Yeah. What was the top?
Jay White after Wrestle Kingdom. There's nothing beating that.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That's fair. Yeah, it was so good. And Dynamite normally doesn't start with promos. It usually always starts with the match, but that's 2 weeks in a row now. They had the Hangman stuff a week ago, the celebration, which turned into the Danielson stuff, which was excellent. And then this week, 2 weeks in a row that they've started, this was clearly, man, like once they were in the ring together, you could feel the crowd was like, oh yeah, here we go. Like this is going to be, and it lived up to the expectation. It was just fantastic.
And one thing I love, it's not even just because they were in Chicago and he was interrupting Punk, but as soon as MJS music hits, the reaction it garners is just freaking ridiculous. It's just it's nuclear, but the right kind of heat.
Oh yeah, it's so good,
so good.
It's fantastic. We then actually get the match that we were supposed to get, which is CM Punk against QT Marshall. At first, Marshall is with Comoroto and Aaron Solo, but they quickly get thrown out to the back when Comoroto gets involved early on in the match, trying to grab Punk's leg. This match, like a
dipshit doing it too.
Yeah, I know it didn't. Yeah, it wasn't that great. This match went a lot longer than I thought. After that promo, you would expect. I was expecting Punk not to like squash the guy, but after that promo and the kind of the intensity and the heat of it, I was expecting Punk to pretty much handle Marshall pretty quickly. But he did not. This was a longer match. It got a break in between it. Punk took a significant amount of offense from QT Marshall. I agree. But at the end of the day, CM Punk did get the victory with the GTS. Were you kind of in the same boat with me as like not expecting? I was expecting Punk to kind of let out his frustrations on Marshall and just kind of take care of business.
Yeah. I was expecting, excuse me, QT to sort of get the jump. Oh my gosh, dog. What are you whinging about?
Yes. See? My cat's flipping out. Your dog's flipping out. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, but my dog's like right here. Look. I was expecting maybe QT to get the jump because Comoroto, I would have been in for him getting squashed too, Pluggo. I was expecting QT to get the jump due to the goons on the outside distracting Punk or something along those lines, and then just getting run over. But QT was hitting freaking Liger bombs and all.
I was gonna say, he's hitting Liger bombs and all sorts of stuff. I was like, all right, cool.
So
giving him a shine, I guess.
Yeah. After the break, once Punk got the ascendancy, his offense was probably the crisp and cleanest it's looked, with the running knee and whatnot, and the swinging net breaker. Oh my god, dog! Seriously. But and once he got that ascendancy, it was all over, which is fine. Yes, it did go longer than it should have, but at the end of the day, Punk wins. Yada yada yada. People have been clamoring for Punk to have his first long-term program in AEW. We've got that. I just hope those same people in a month, 5-6 weeks time don't go, oh, why is this going so long?
Yeah.
Because their next pay-per-view is not till freaking February. There's going to be deviations and whatnot in between there. Just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy probably more of what we got.
I mean, yeah. And we all want more of it. So, so before we kind of move on past the Punk and MJF stuff,
but do we have to?
I don't, bro. I'll sit here all day and talk about it. I'll sit here all day and talk about it. I'm not gonna admit how many times I've watched that promo since Wednesday. So, but
plus 20.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe not 20, but it's a lot. It's a lot. No. My thing is, so they, like you said, they have a lot of things coming up, right? They have the Winter is Coming, which last year we saw Sting debut. They have the TBS debut at the beginning of January. Then they just announced, and I know neither of these guys are champions, but they just announced the Battle of the Belts that will be happening at the beginning of January again. So I'm assuming they're
going to like a Night of Champions type deal?
That's what I'm thinking. It's on a Saturday night. It's a live, so I think it's going to be like their version of Clash of Champions or Night of Champions or something like that.
And the graphic had all the title holders.
Exactly.
There,
so I'm assuming all the belts will be on the line, but I'm assuming they're going to make it probably a larger event with non-title, like with other matches too. And then you get Revolution, which is in February. So do you think that this is going to be a long-term feud? Do you think we see more than just one match here? We see multiple matches, like that type of thing?
You don't have them touch until a pay-per-view.
I agree.
I wouldn't have thought.
I agree.
It would be a misstep if they did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have them. I wouldn't even have them brawl beforehand.
Yeah, I just wonder where we have, because you have these matches that are lined up, and we'll talk about another one later, but you have the Hangman Danielson, and you got Punk and MJF. You got these two matches. And like you said, there's we're in basically December. We have a little over 2 full months before the next pay-per-view, but there are these big events sooner, 3 weeks away, 6 weeks away, 8 weeks away. Do we see either of those matches before the pay-per-view, or do we ride them out all the way till the end of February? Is kind of what I wonder.
I think we might get Danielson versus Hangman at Battle of the Belts. Personally.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. Well, that would make sense because Hangman has to defend the title if it's Battle of the Belts, right? So that would that would make the most sense. So,
and I think Punk will versus
somebody else,
Wardlow at some point.
Yeah, or maybe he goes through Spears and Wardlow, kind of the guys he mentioned in the promos.
Yeah, I would say so.
Rock and roll.
So,
well, one question that Dara has is, will the FTW title be on the line?
I damn hope so, because Ricky Starks is amazing.
Yes, he is. All right, so we then get.
Excuse me for a sec. I'm going to go let my dog out to the toilet.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
Give me a minute.
Yeah. Pets, man. Ruining things. Anyway, let me know in the chat what you thought. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming most of us loved the CM Punk stuff, but let me know in the chat. Basically, any questions or things you want to know, or how you felt about the CM Punk MJF, how excited you are for the match, all sorts of things like that. Let me know in the chat. We can chat along and do things like that before we continue to dive in once, every stream I'm on, I feel like whether it's kids or pets, somebody fucks up my show. And it's starting to anger me. But anyway. I personally like the Punk and MJF promo better. Not by much. Not by much at all. This one just felt like a pure old-fashioned wrestling promo, and the fact that it was so good, yeah, man. When Punk hit that Miz line and just everything that happened afterwards, I was like, okay, well, this is incredible to me. So I was just in heaven. But like I agree with Dara right here. The Punk and Kingston one felt way more real. It felt way more personal. I think that's a good word. So it was definitely a different feeling. Immediate. See, my thing is when it comes to Punk and Kingston, once they had that promo, I immediately wanted to see them fight, right? Punk and MJF, I want to see the match, but that's not what's important. Like, I want to see them promoing more. So it's a kind of a different feeling. It's kind of a different feeling for me. I was asked, so Spencer asked us in the chat, what do we like more, the Punk MJF or Punk Kingston? And I was just saying, for me, and then I'll let you answer it too, obviously. Sure. But for me, I like the Punk MJF one better, not by much, but I liked it better. And I think part of it was when Punk and Kingston happened, I immediately was like, I want to see these guys fight. I want to see these guys fight. When Punk and MJF happened, I immediately was like, I want to see these guys do this again every week. I do want to see the match, obviously, but I want to see the promos way more than I want to see the match, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas with Kingston and Punk, even though I knew they could have done promos week after week and they would have been great too, I wanted to see them beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
You know? So that was kind of the different feeling for me. I don't know if you want to answer that one of which one you enjoyed more and why or whatnot.
I enjoyed this one more. So I let the dog out to the toilet and it still sits here and whinges. Other one just lays on the bed and sleeps.
Yeah, well,
this one's just old, but he's not even old. He's like 5.
He's like, he's like, you're not finishing this show, Dad. You're just not.
No.
Yeah.
Don't have my son. Got this one instead. Just as high maintenance. So the MJF Punk one for me was better overall, but the Kingston MJF one to me felt more realistic.
Yeah.
Not to say the MJF one wasn't, because it was littered with facts and, snide little remarks. But the Kingston and Punk one is something that you would see on a Saturday night or Friday night at the front of a bar. 2 guys who will just lick it up to the eyeballs, just throwing barbs at each other, and then just, the little headbutt and then the brawl. That's to me, that's just real life.
Yeah.
But both equally amazing. It's personal choice, really. I could see why people would like the Kingston one more over this, and I could see vice versa. I really could. Bobby, what's going on? But yeah, both equally amazing. Oh, geez, my voice is a bit how you doing this morning. But yeah, equally amazing. And, there's a common denominator in both.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
And even after 7 years, he's still damn good.
Yes. That is fact, my friend. All right, so we get a couple back-to-back promos here on Dynamite. We first have Tony Schiavone backstage with Jurassic Express and Christian. Christian is really the only one that talks here. He says, they've been on a good run lately. Everything is in their favor. He also says that he just found out that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express, are the #1 ranked tag team, and that they're going to win the tag team titles. And the reason why they are going to win the tag team titles is because Christian says he's going to make sure they do. We then get right into another promo.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I was going to do both and then have a... But yeah, so I think this eventually... No, we can do it this way. That's fine. I think Christian costs them the titles.
Thank you.
But then, and I know we've talked about this, I really want Jungle Boy to be the one that turns on him.
My question is, what if all 3 turn heel?
Like the group, so they just go bad, all 3 of them.
Yeah. What if they all turn heel and they cheat to win the titles?
I mean, I wouldn't be against that either. I don't know. For some reason, I just want to see Jungle Boy as a heel. I don't know why.
I can't see Luchasaurus as a heel either.
No.
He's over his shit. I don't get it, but
he is. I don't like, and we've been saying it for a little bit now. Like, Wrestling 101 tells you that Christian Cage is going to be the one that turns. The veteran turns on the younger guy, turns on the fun guys. Like, that is.
But when did AEW ever do 101? Not normally.
No, they usually do their own thing, and they haven't.
I
haven't
would potentially go the route if Christian tries to
help.
thinks he's helping them, but he's
Yeah, it
really
hurts them.
hindering them. They lose. JB loses his shit and just goes, you know what? No.
That'd be great. Oh, that'd be so good.
JB as a heel would be. I just can't see them turning. I just don't see them turning.
No, not yet. I feel like they're too over. But like, I would love it because he can't be. He can't be.
But you know what he's going to hump?
Jungle Boy versus Christian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be real good. That's gonna be real good. We then cut to Eddie Kingston eating backstage.
Fucking catering.
Yeah, he's in catering, eating, and he is immediately he's cutting a promo, and he's interrupted by Daniel Garcia in 2.0.
I'm glad just to cut you off. I'm glad that they let him get out what he got out.
Yeah, about Moxley saying, you know, happy Thanksgiving, Mox. I hope you're good. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're doing okay. That was good. And then 2.0 sits down. They go, hey, man, hey, we're sorry about the other day. We didn't mean to get you riled up like that. He goes, I read the Players Tribune piece like that. You know, that's a great thing there. And we didn't want to blah, blah, blah. Eddie Kingston's not even listening. He's not even listening. And he's just sitting there. He's like, I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to eat, guys. I'm just trying to eat. He goes, you know, we don't think you're hungry. Yeah, one of the guys, the other, I forget their AEW names, but the skinnier guy of 2.0, he goes, you know, we don't think you're hungry anymore. We're missing that hunger. And Eddie Kingston just points to the plate of food and he's like, I'm trying to eat pie.
Like, he's like, I want this cake.
Yeah, I want this cake. Yeah, that's right. He goes, I'm hungry. I'm trying to eat the cake. But yeah. Oh, Jeff Parker. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah. And so a little quick one. And then Kingston gets a little pissed off because I believe Jeff Parker again says that he wasn't there for his friend Moxley, and that's why Moxley is not there, which really obviously pissed Kingston. He goes, what? And he stands right up and just starts going at him. And obviously, as we'll talk about on Rampage, we had set up from the previous week, Garcia versus Kingston, which we'll dive into when we dive into Rampage. Another short, sweet, building up the match for Friday. I thought like you said, the addition of Moxley on both ends. And we got our boy Lawrence in there saying 2.0 Montreal legends. They are. Good for them. Good for them.
Damn Canadian.
Right? Or as Spencer would say, good Canadian. Those are some good Canadians right there. Good Canadians.
Yes. Spencer's a good Canadian.
That is true. That is true. I agree with you. I did like how they mentioned Moxley a few times here, how Kingston was able to say his piece, and then they used Moxley as the thing to piss Kingston off later as well. What did you think about this little segment here with 2.0 Garcia and Kingston?
Yeah, this was fine. I'll talk about it more when we get to Rampage, but yeah, this was fine for me. Harmless. Kingston got to say what he wanted to say publicly to his friend Moxley, and I have no doubt he probably still speaks to him in some way, shape, or form, or communicates with him somehow. Which, you know, it's just fine. And he probably got it ticked off to men. He probably would have asked him, "You cool if I mention you and your family on TV? Yeah. You happy with that?" So, for me, that's fine. But yeah, they keep putting Garcia in these spots. It's
so good.
Guy's 22, 23.
Yeah,
so
they
good.
got a lot of trust in him already.
Yeah. What's there been?
He was having big matches before he was. Yeah, he was having huge matches before he was even signed there. So they've clearly
there's
thought
been like
very
10
highly
episodes of Rampage, and he's main evented like 4.
I know. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later. But yeah, this was a fun little segment. Garcia just staring a hole for Eddie Kingston the whole time. And he's like, "You shooting me murder ones? What's going on here?" Yeah. But I've noticed the last 2 weeks, we had Bryan Danielson last week with the bicep flex when he had him Uno in the triangle. Yeah. And then we had Garcia this week with a bit of this work. Yeah. When they were fronting up. They're both Nate Diaz in the UFC tropes. Okay. I don't know if they're leaning into something with these things or it's just coincidental. I don't actually know. But yeah, I don't know. It stuck out to me. So, but yeah, fun little segment. It was, it achieved what it needed to.
All right. We then get a tag team match between
The
Bear
segment was
Country.
better than the segment was better than this match. That's
Well,
for sure.
yeah. Bear Country versus the Gun Club, and the Gun Club consisted of Colton Gunn and the old man Billy Gunn. I would prefer
undefeated.
They are
Gun Club.
I would prefer if it was the two sons wrestling here with Billy as kind of the
manager.
Yes, that's what I would prefer. I think this would be getting over a lot more with the crowd if it was that way. I think, and this is no disrespect to Billy Gunn, but we've all been watching Billy Gunn for 30 years. We don't need to watch Billy Gunn wrestle anymore.
Motherfucker's 58.
Yeah, like you got two sons. Good. He does. He looks amazing. Looks better than I will at 58 if I'm still here. God bless. But like,
yeah.
I just feel like I feel like it would be getting over because they came out, and I get it. They're undefeated. I get it. You want to present them, whether you're going to be coming out with trios titles in the future or just you want to present them as another tag team in the division. Fine.
Yeah.
They're undefeated. It would get over more with the crowd, I believe, if it was the two kids. That's how I feel.
Is Austin potentially injured?
He might, maybe that's the case. Because I feel like he hasn't. I haven't seen him wrestle. It's been a lot of Colton more.
Yes. And he's improving a lot.
Yeah, and this is good for him. Like you get the reps too. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Again, this is where the dark shows are so good.
Yeah. And Ashford agrees about the kids with Billy being the manager there. Bobby, I do see your comments. I'm going to save them because we are going to talk about her in a little bit coming up. But yeah, I mean, this match is what it was. I like Bear Country. They have been a local team of ours for a while, so I've seen them for a little bit now, pre-COVID and things of that nature. They're a good tag team, but they're clearly not the focus of the tag team division currently. So this is a spot for them to, hey, you're on Dynamite, but you're going to take a quick L here. But hey, here's your spotlight, things of that nature. Colton did pick up the win, which I liked. I do like the son grabbing the W instead of Billy because it's just not needed for Billy to do that. I think the real story, obviously, was after the match. You see Sting come out. And Austin Gunn, the one that didn't wrestle, immediately gets out of the ring and starts charging at Sting.
Ooh.
Yeah. Starts charging up the ramp at Sting, and Darby Allin comes out of the tunnel like a friggin' bolt of lightning and gave one of the best flying, running shoulder blocks I've ever seen. Just took him out. Oh man, it was brutal looking.
Ran him all the fucking way over.
Yeah, and as Darren Amazing says, and Darby soars. Like literally.
Yes.
Like he
Sting
came out of nowhere.
Because Sting knew it was coming, he was smiling before it happened.
Yeah.
And the underworld was so good.
Darby 1,000 miles an hour. Like that's how he moves 1,000 miles an hour.
Kudos to Austin for taking that too.
Oh my goodness. That was brutal.
He sold that. He sold it real well.
Oh yeah. That looked awesome. That part of it was just unreal. And then Sting and Darby take off. And then the gun club, the other guns actually eventually get up to Austin, and Billy Gunn's like laughing. He's like almost like impressed that he's like laughing during it. It was, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so it clearly seems that, all right. So I'll ask you before I move on. How do we feel about? I think this is clearly another reason to get Sting to fight. They want Sting to have another match.
Yes.
How do we feel about Darby kind of dropping down a little bit and being involved with the Gun Club? He just fought MJF. Then I feel like now his next marquee matchup is going to be against Billy Gunn. The Gun Club. He already fought Billy Gunn last week, but how do we feel? Are we okay with it? Because we know that he needs a win. It'll give him a win.
I'm okay with it only because Revolution's not till February. If they had a pay-per-view in 4 weeks' time, I'd be concerned. But they don't have a pay-per-view till February, so there's still plenty of time to get this over and done with And yeah, you're right. It's just another excuse to get Sting in the ring, which is fine. They don't need to sell me on that. And it's a good chance for someone like Colton to wrestle someone like Sting and Darby.
Well, I think, and again, like we don't know if Austin is hurt. I haven't read that anywhere, but there was a little bit of a tease, as we'll talk about as we go, that it could be a 6-man, and we could know who the third guy on the Sting Darby team would be.
But they announced Colton and Billy versus Sting and Darby for next week.
Did they already announce it? All right, cool. Because they lumped in Jericho. You know what I mean? Like with
we'll get to what's next for him.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, oh, they're gonna do. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, as far as the match goes, I mean, with Bear Country and Gun Club, it was the Gun Club won. It was nothing special, but the aftermath is what led to. Well, we then get the announcement that the Battle of the Belts is happening in Charlotte, North Carolina on January 6th. And then we have another couple backstage promos. One I want to talk about way more than the other, but Adam Cole and Bobby Fish are backstage. Cole is talking about how they're on a losing streak and they need to cut it. They need to cut it out. They get interrupted by the best friends. Then Adam Cole just begins insulting all of them. Like he goes, "What kind of name is Yuta?" Bobby Fish said that. "What kind of name is Yuta?" He goes, "Wheeler Yuta." I don't even know what kind of name that is. They're making fun of him. Adam Cole looks at Orange Cassidy and goes, "I can almost guarantee that you're not a really good friend," which made me laugh. Yeah. So, but yeah, typical fare on Rampage. We have Bobby Fish and Adam Cole going against Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy. So this was kind of a little bit of a build up to that. I thought it was harmless and funny.
I think Chucky might be injured too.
Yeah, he hasn't wrestled in a while. I feel like either. He's kind of just been.
I do like that Adam Cole said should be called best friend. Where's your
Trent?
Best friend?
Yeah, where is your best friend?
Trent?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That was
they are going to be so over when Trent's cleared to come back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God. And they're a really good tag team too. So like they can easily be thrown up to the top of that division once they're healthy and back and winning some matches and things of that nature.
It's a loaded tag division.
It really is. It really is. And then we get backstage. We have Team Taz, and they're in the back with Dante Martin and Leo Rush. And Dante Martin has a contract in front of him, as does Leo. And Taz tells Dante, like, "Hey, we're done messing around. Sign the contract. It's yes or no right now, man. Like, we're done with this." And then Leo is like, "No. We're not signing this, blah, 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 blah." And Dante stops Leo. And he goes, No. And Dante Martin signs the contract. And he leaves Leo and he joins Team Taz. I'll let you go. How do we feel about Dante Martin joining Team Taz? What do you think?
I like it.
I like it too.
Don't get me wrong. I was enjoying the Dante Leo stuff, but I'm going to enjoy Dante wrestling Leo a whole lot more. I really am.
Yeah. Dante Martin is a heel.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
I don't either.
And you know what? This sets Team Taz up. They have a tag team now once Darius comes back.
That is true.
They don't have a tag
so you
team.
think they immediately recruit him too, and then Top Flight is just part of Team Taz?
Well, you could go
or do you think Darius tries to pull him
away?
You
could go the Usos route, really. Jay was sort of forced to align with Roman, then Jimmy came back and was sort of in a state of flux, and then just sort of fell into line. They could sort of go along that sort of line. Darius comes back, is like, "Man, what are you doing? It's ridiculous. This isn't new, blah, blah, blah." Then, as progression, he's like, "You know what? This looks like fun." So they could go that route. I didn't pick this as how they would go. Yeah. But you know what? I'm happy with the swerve. The swerve is fine.
Yeah.
To me, that's fun. I thought it was hilarious that Dante was like, "Okay, I'll take a little piece of what you're offering here, Hook. That's cool."
Yeah. He took the food and everyone was like, it popped the crowd.
Yeah. Hook is over, man. I don't get it. But anyway, he's over. Hobbs and Starks, you could tell, I don't think they thought there were any chance of getting him to sign. But like Taz is sitting there, and as he holds Dante grabs the pen. Starks is like going like this to Taz, and he's like, "Oh shit, oh shit!"
He's gonna do it.
And then Hobbs is like this. He's like, "Oh no!" And then he's like, "Oh damn, he signed it."
Yeah,
it was good stuff. It really was. It was short.
It was very good.
It was sweet. It was just good fun.
Yeah. And I held off a couple comments, but we're going to talk about it now. Our buddy Bobby says that he very much liked the match between Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter. And then he says that he thinks Jamie Hayter is a future champion on AEW. And he says also
Jamie
that
Hayter's the future everything.
Yeah. Says Jamie Hayter is his number 1 favorite wrestler, and Serena Deeb is number 2. Those are not a bad 2 to like, my friend. Those are not a bad 2 to like.
Very
and
good
the next thing that we got on Dynamite was Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker and Rebel at ringside. This match was very good. Very good. Man, this was good. Thunder Rosa is awesome. She's just awesome. Jamie Hayter is really good. She is winning me over week after week after week. I didn't know much about her until AEW here, this current run that she's on, and she is real good. Real good. I'll let you lead, my friend. Tell me what you thought about the match, what stuck out to you. Talk to me about Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter.
This was one of those matches where, like, you get 2 people, whether it's men or women, doesn't matter. And it wasn't the cleanest of matches, but when you got 2 people that dislike each other like these 2 do, it's just a brawl and a fight, and they're not pretty, but they just got after it, and it was just intense. It was just intense, like back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Rosa got the ascendancy, went to the outside. Got worry about the 10 count, roll back in, roll back out, which gave you thinking, this is taking a lot of time. Hayter standing around a fair bit, jumps to the outside, Hayter catches her into the post, dumps her on the floor. Those sort of things are what put this match over the top for me. Hayter is so physically strong and dominant. She's destined for great things. Her and Britt will battle at some point. And that's going to rule.
Yeah, there was a little bit towards the after the match, which we'll discuss quickly. But
and AEW don't do it a lot, but in this instance, it made sense due to what Rosa will go on to with Britt and the little tribulations that they showed here with Hayter and Britt. But I liked that they protected Hayter a little bit here, because she's lost a couple. Not that we're in any rush with her, but and as Ashford said, decent time too. It did get decent time. It got a good 10, 12 minutes, and that's what the women deserve. We need more of it. We need more of it. But this match was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. Jamie Hayter had a really nice backbreaker. I'm a sucker for kind of the older school moves. She had a really cool backbreaker that looked awesome. The missile drop kicks, I think they call them shotgun drop kick. Thunder Rosa nails those every time. Like, this is just 2 really good professional wrestlers having a really, really, really good professional wrestling match. Yeah, man. I love this match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really, really good.
I agree.
And Thunder Rosa did win. So she moves on. She will face Jade Cargill in the semifinal of the next round of the TBS tournament. And then after the match, how the match ended was we had good old Rick Knox reffing this one, and Rebel distracts him. Britt Baker gets in the ring trying to help her friend win. She accidentally super kicks Jamie Hayter, which led to the victory. And after the match, it got to the point where Jamie Hayter was so pissed off, she gave Britt Baker a little bit of a shove. Gave her a little bit of a shove and walked off. And even Britt's face, she was like, I kind of deserve that. I get it. Like, she could tell she was bothered that she got shoved, but she was like, I understand. I'd probably do the same, So it wasn't like, F you, we're not friends anymore. It was just like, all right, she'll calm down. Like, it'll be okay. She'll calm down. So that part I liked as well. We then get backstage. We have Chris Jericho getting interviewed by Alex Marvez, and he is immediately interrupted by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. And Jericho, not his best work here, I think. He hasn't had his best work for a while now, but not his best work, I think. He starts saying that one of the guys, Matt, I believe is this one's name. He says he's got a square head, looks like a, square head. He looks like blah, blah, blah. He just kept on talking about his head. Yeah. And then that was basically that. I did find it funny, though, that he says, oh, look at his head. It's a square head, blah, blah, blah. And it's not really popping. And then they cut the segment, at least the screen changes. And then all of a sudden, before they go to commercial, you hear Jericho one more time just go, looks like a Rubik's Cube. And when he said that, after that, that got a little bit of laughter from the crowd, and I laughed on my couch. I was like, like that part was funny because you thought it was over, and you could just envision Jericho like still flipping out about it. Oh, it looks like a Rubik's Cube. So I thought that was all right. But in general, I agree with Astrid. It was a little meh. The Jericho part of it was a little meh for me. Yeah. We then have Britt Baker, who's having her Friendsgiving dinner. Jamie Hayter is not there because she's still pissed off.
Shock.
Yeah. But she's back there with Rebel and Tony. And Shivani, unfortunately, has to break the bad news and shows her a clip from All Out. And the clip shows that Rio was never eliminated from the Casino Battle Royal.
And I never knew that.
And did you not know that?
No.
Me neither. I had no clue. I don't remember that being like mentioned, or I didn't even same.
Maybe I did know it and forgot it. But they showed that and I was like, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that they do these callbacks too, by the way.
I do too. They so
did it with
Shivani
Kingston
announced.
As well.
Yep. Shivani mentions that on Rampage, they are going to have a Black Friday deal match where it would be Riho going one-on-one with Britt Baker. And if Rio got the victory, Rio would be entitled to a AEW Women's Championship match down the line. Britt Baker, clearly not happy, says, no, that's not happening. And Shivani goes, Tony just told me, like, it's official, it's happening. She goes, you know what? You ruined my Halloween. Now you're ruining my Thanksgiving. What the hell? She gives Tony some stuff. And, that was it. Short and sweet. I thought both these were, especially the Britt Baker one. It was short and sweet, but it sets up the match that we're going to talk about a little later on Rampage. I thought it was fine.
Funniest part about that for me was she abused Tony for putting ice in the red wine.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she goes, it was probably
and then she's like, no. And then she's like, no, we're not doing the DMD. You ruined it. No.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, we're not doing it. You ruined it for everybody.
He's like, damn.
Yeah. Ashwood, I don't remember what she said. Oh, you don't need
the bread
that.
Roll.
Yeah, she goes, you don't need that, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a fat shame. I agree.
Yeah. Not ideal.
And I give you the hot tip, Rebel. Yeah, she not large.
No.
In the slightest. She's a very attractive lady.
Yeah. All right. We then get another hometown boy. We get Colt Cabana going one-on-one with Mr. Bryan Danielson. Get a little bit of chain wrestling at the front here, doing some reversals. Colt Cabana picking up, he did some fancy ones with his feet, spinning around, getting behind Daniels, kind of showing off a little bit. And then it quickly turned into Bryan Danielson beating the shit out of Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana did have a couple things towards the end. He had a really good moonsault for a close 2 count, which was a good little spot for him. But all in all, this was Bryan Danielson, like he said he was going to do, one by one, kicking the head off of all the members of the Dark Order until he gets his match with Hangman Page.
Or in this instance, kicking the teeth out of them.
I was going to say, yes. After the match, he does the thing with the arms where he just repeatedly kicks Cabana in the head and then twists him around into the label lock for the quick victory there. And as we see, Daniel Bryan, God damn it, I'm going to call him Daniel Bryan forever for the rest of my life. Damn it. Bryan Danielson, he looks at the camera. He goes, hey, come on, zoom in here. And he looks, and he kicked Colt Cabana's tooth out. There was a tooth, and he held it up. He picked it up. He went to the top rope. He was holding it. After the match, he has an interview segment. That's what I do, Dara. I usually just call him Brian. I really do. So because it works either way.
Yeah, it's easier.
It's easier that way. But when I try to say the full name, I almost always say Daniel Bryan instead of Brian. I swear I'll get it one of these times. I will. I promise. But yeah, man. I mean, and when Shivani goes in there to interview him after, he's still holding the tooth. Man, that was nasty. What'd you think of the match between Colt and Danielson?
Yeah, it was fine. It was what I expected. Really, it was a semi squash.
Yeah, kind of.
Colt got his stuff in. The bionic elbow and a few other bits and pieces and whatnot. What I am glad is I'm glad that they are finally using the arm holding and the head kicking as it should be, like a legit match ending type scenario. Because if something like that was to happen in reality, you're not getting up. So I'm glad it's not like some sort of transitional type thing. I enjoy it, and I'm glad that this is how it's used. I like Brian as a heel. I really do.
Oh my god, yeah, it's good. It's good.
His heel run as the Planet's champion in WWE was
excellent,
tippy top.
Yep.
And now he's got this aggressive side to him, where he just wants to kick people and hurt people, and I'm for it. It's amazing.
Yep.
Hangman. Well, we're going to get to it in a minute, but the stuff after with Hangman was amazing too.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can dive into it. Yeah. So after the match, Shivani gets in the ring. And Danielson getting booed by the crowd. He goes, a couple months ago, a few months ago when I debuted here, right here, you guys were all singing a different tune. And he goes, you know what that tells me? And I love this because he used this with the Planche champion in WWE. He just goes, you know what that says to me? You know what word that makes me think of? And I said it before he said it. I went, fickle.
Fickle.
I said, fickle. And then he started, he said, oh, yeah, you're fickle. And I was like, nice. I was like, yeah. No, like, keep going,
fickle
man.
Fans.
Fickle.
He's right.
He is right, 100%. So he calls the crowd fickle. He shows everyone the tooth that he knocked out of Cabana. And then we get, and then we get Hangman Adam Page coming out. Huge pop. He says that Chicago means a lot to him, and he cannot think of a better place to have their match than right here tonight. And Daniel Bryan, another heel, spitting facts a little bit. He goes, yeah, he would want to have the match tonight after I already wrestled. Wrestled. You would want to have the match.
I love when the heel goes into this.
Yeah.
No, I want to fight you, but just not now.
Yeah. And then he goes,
that's going to be a progressive thing.
Oh, yeah. And Bryan says, that doesn't sound like cowboy shit to me. That sounds like coward shit. Oh, I loved it.
Still weirds me out here. Bryan Danielson swear on TV. It's unnatural.
Yep. And then Page goes, all right. He goes, I get it. Yeah, you don't want to fight. He goes, well, one thing. He goes, you don't want to wrestle tonight? That's cool. He goes, but I'm not leaving here without a fight. And he goes, and since you already wrestled the match, I'll let you get the first shot. And he puts his hands behind his back. And Daniel Bryan, damn it, I did it again. And Bryan,
you did it before and you didn't even notice.
I know. And Bryan goes, I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Nope, not doing it. And he acts like he's not going to do it. He puts the mic down and he slaps Hangman right across the face. They start going at it a little bit, and it sets up to a spot where Hangman tries to hit the buckshot, and Bryan escapes. That's the end of this segment. I want to see this match a lot. A lot. And like, I agree with what you said at the top, kind of before we dove into it. This heel Bryan, I'm all for it, man. I love it. It's so good. It fits perfectly. They went to it right away with the Hangman stuff, and it's been A+.
It seemingly came out of nowhere, and now I can't picture it any other way.
And it's A+. As much as we all loved when he was Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement and how over he was in a babyface, I do think his best work is as a heel. He's just so good at it. And Hangman is over.
He can be so arrogant. That's why.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. And Hangman is just so over. Just so over. And yeah, man, I love it. I love everything that we've seen the last couple of weeks from these two guys, and I cannot wait to see this match. Cannot wait.
Yeah. And it says something about the quality of this show as its entirety that we had no Omega and we weren't for a while.
Yep.
The world champion was literally on the show for 5 minutes. Literally.
Yep.
And it's just
I agree,
ridiculous.
Asher. Like Brian he can do both excellently. Like he's a top-notch babyface and a top-notch. He can do them both. And
yeah, him and Punk are probably
and Punk, yep.
two people that could honestly, maybe Eddie Kingston too, could probably do both equally as good as the other. And you can't say that about a lot of people.
No, you
really can't.
You cannot.
Triple H can probably do both.
Yep, I agree.
Equally.
I agree.
But I was a Triple H fan, so.
I was a Triple H guy too. All right, we then get a hype.
99 2000 Triple H.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We do get a promo hype video for the upcoming Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander TBS tournament match, which I believe is happening on Dynamite.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And the winner of that match will go on to face Nyla Rose, correct? In the other semifinal?
Correct.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
I think this match can be one of the top matches in the whole tournament. That's how good these two are. Ruby Soho mentions that when she came to AEW, she had a list of girls she wanted to work with, and Statlander was right at the top of that list because she knows how good she is. She's one of the best in the world. Absolutely. And Statlander says, she's had her ups and downs, had a couple injuries here or there, but she wants that AEW Women's Championship. She's been close before. And I know this one is this is for the TBS title, but she says she's been close to gold before. She wants to be champion. She feels like she deserves to be champion.
Yep.
And yeah, man, Statlander rules. Ruby Soho rules.
Yep.
This should be a good one. And it was, Ashford. It was a very good hype, and I'm hoping they get the time as well. Which I think you got to give these two the time. You gotta. It's gonna be so.
You got to give him. You got to give him the Jamie Hayter Thunder Rosa.
Oh yeah.
Sort of time. Yeah. And yeah, the match could be equally as good, if not better, than what we saw this week.
Yep.
Because both women are just. We saw what Statlander can do in a match against Britt at All Out.
That was one of the best matches at All Out. I thought that was one of the top matches on the show.
Yeah, and it's going to be an unpopular opinion to the marks out there, but I reckon it's probably one of the better women's matches. Not the best, because it was a pretty good one at Survivor Series, but it's one of the better women's matches of the year.
The Britt and Statlander one?
Yep.
Oh, it was very good. It was very, very good.
Again, not the best before all the marks come at me, but it's definitely up there for mine.
Oh yeah. It was really good.
And Ruby, we know Ruby's reinvigorated since she's come over. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good fun.
Oh yeah. All right. We then get to the main event of Dynamite. It is a big 8-man tag. It is Malachi Black, Andrade El Idolo, and FTR going up against the Death Triangle, Lucha Bros, and Pac, and one Cody Rhodes getting booed mercifully once again.
I will admit I was not at all looking forward to this match.
This match was good, though. This match was good.
But once it was finished, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, dude. This match was good. I agree. I feel like this whole story and the Cody stuff with all these guys, like, I agree. I think I was going into it. I was like, all right, whatever, like, fine. But this match was good.
Yeah.
this
when it first started,
when
when it first started, I was like, oh, really? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. And then the crowd were into it, and then they threw the weight belt back, and I was like, oh, all right, I'm into it now. Let's go.
And then you just had all 8 dudes getting all their shit in, like bang, 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 bang. Like, and it was just like, man, all right. And it was like, I don't even know how much time they got. 15 minutes, whatever. I don't know. But
once you take the entrances out, Malachi's and Cody's entrance out, the match probably went 15.
Yeah, but it was real good. It was real good. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I just want to say one thing off the top. Ray Phoenix.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it was, I was writing my notes and I said, I was just like, Ray Phoenix is one of my favorite guys in AEW. I go, every time he's in the ring, I cannot take my eyes off him. I'm just like, man, the stuff he's does.
He's one of my favorite things in all of professional wrestling.
It is
not
so
just
good.
AEW.
It is so
It's
good.
clean.
The things he does, I've never seen before, and he makes it look easy.
Yeah.
Like you said, clean. Like it looks so clean that he just makes it look so damn easy. That's how good he is.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not at any point saying he's better than this person, but the things Ray Phoenix does now reminds me of Mysterio 96, 7, 8. That's the vibe I get. Again, not comparing the two at all, because I would be doing both of them a disservice by doing so, but that's Ray Phoenix to I hope a younger generation is what Mysterio was to people like myself and yourself back then.
I think so. I think he has the two guys, and again, one of them is in a different company and he doesn't get utilized as much, but like the two guys that I can remember within the last handful of years when I watch them wrestle and I'm like, wow, I've never seen people do that before, are Ray Phoenix and Ricochet. Those are the two guys that I see them do things and I'm like, man, and they make it look smooth, clean, easy as can be. Like it's just, they just got out of bed and they're like, yep, here's this tilt-a-whirl backflip into a super kick. And it's like, all right, cool, man. And I just watch it and I'm like, all right. But I agree with you.
I'm sitting on my couch trying to figure out how they did it, and they just did it.
Yeah. I get up to like go to the bathroom and I tear my hamstring. I'm like, what the hell? How is the guy doing 9 backflips? The hell's going on here? But it's like, you know, they just make it look so easy. Like it's just nothing for them. And it's spectacular. We had a couple, I mean, this was just action packed, fast paced. If you have the time, go back and watch it. Cause I agree with Matt. It exceeded my expectations. I was not super duper excited for this match. And then as it was going, I was like, man, they're just putting it all out there. There was a cool spot towards the end where Tully Blanchard and Arn kind of got in the ring and they were facing each other. And you were like, oh, they're going to fight. The Brainbusters, they're going to fight. And then Jose gets on the apron. And then I was saying out loud to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, they should reunite as the Brainbusters and take out this guy. And they just kind of give him a punch or whatever. It was a kind of funny little moment there that you were, you know, you get a little jacked up for the old guys getting ready to fight. Towards the end of the match, Cody messes up and accidentally hits Pac with a super kick, which I don't know if that'll lead to a one-on-one with them down in the future. Who knows? But he misses that, which leads to kind of the ending sequence, which saw Andrade El Idolo hit the hammerlock DDT on Pac and get a pinfall victory over Pac. Not a lot of people pin Pac.
He hit it good.
Yeah, he hit it real good too. Malachi Black was kind of assisting there. He gave Cody the black mass to the ribs, which looked like it killed. To kind of protect.
He hit the mist perfectly on Pac too.
Yes, he did. He hit the mist right in the corner as Pac was going for the black arrow. And that set up the hammerlock. So Andrade, Malachi Black, and FTR get the victory, which I feel like they were the team that should have got the victory. Yeah, dude, fun-ass main event. Fun-ass main event. Even though Cody was getting booed every time he was in there. 100%, Bobby, I agree with you fully. Him versus Guevara would be, oh, boy. That would be, God, fantastic. I would like to see Ray Phoenix. I think that guy's a future world champ. He's a future everything. So
I want to see him versus Malachi after this match.
That would be good. I'd be okay with that. Yeah, man.
You're missing one very important detail from this match.
Oh God, wait. Did I? Go ahead.
Andrade was in trunks.
That is true. Not at first though. He was wearing the pants like normal.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then he was just wearing black trunks. Because he didn't wear trunks. He didn't wear trunks.
We're like, okay.
He didn't wear trunks in NXT or WWE either, right? It was always pants.
No, he had pants and he had the suspenders and the hat at one point.
Yes.
And as Cien Almas, and then he dropped that, was just Andrade, and he was wearing just the leather type pants when he was with Zelina and he won the title.
Yep.
I think even in his match, his match with Gargano, he was wearing just the leather pants.
Yeah, I always thought,
Yeah, I haven't seen him in trunks, but he's still got the fist knee pads on, which is cool. yeah, he just looks more like a wrestler in trunks. Those
100%.
pants look like he was just, I don't know, brawling after going to a function. So
Lawrence
I'm on board.
says that he split his pants, which is why he went
well,
pantless.
I hope he stays in trunks.
You liked it.
Yeah,
it was different.
He looks.
It was different.
He looks like a professional wrestler in trunks. He doesn't look like something. He doesn't look like he's fresh out of a function and ready to fight.
Well, I mean, I'm from Boston, so when I see black and white pinstripes, I automatically think "F you," because screw the Yankees.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I'm not a baseball person, even. No, that's a Yankees reference.
He wears those pinstripes. I'm like, those are Yankee colors, you bastard. What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
You bastard. That's it. But no, this is a fun ass main event, man. It was really. It didn't stop. It didn't let up. It really didn't.
Oh, so good. It was so good. And that was Dynamite. Excellent episode of Dynamite.
It was a quick ass 2 hours.
It was quick. There was real. I would say besides the Gun Club match, really.
It was all good.
It was all good. It was all really good. Some of it was like excellent. The Punk MJF.
I started watching it at 11, like Friday night. I was watching it at 11 o'clock at night. And before I knew it, the main event was starting. I was like, oh, crap, where did that time go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was one of those shows where it doesn't feel like 2 hours because you're just thoroughly entertained with everything you're seeing. You know what I mean? All right.
Thoroughly sports entertained, would you say?
The beginning of it, I would say like our buddy Tim said at the top, MJF and Punk, that was sports entertainment right there. That was sports entertainment.
I just hope they don't fall into that rut of going the promo route.
Not to start the show. I feel like AEW. I felt like this one.
Not 2 weeks in a row. That's what worries me.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I bet you they start off with a good match. I wouldn't mind them starting off with Ruby Soho and Statlander next week, to be honest with you.
Give me that.
All right. So all right. Now we're gonna dive into Rampage. I thought Rampage had a good bounce back week. Because last week sucked.
Wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, it was not a great show last week.
No.
But I thought this one, we just finished talking about a fun match. You know what was a fun ass match? The tag match that opened Rampage. With Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta versus Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. Man. Wheeler Yuta, they got one in him. He's going to be a guy that's going to do some big things for them too in the future. He's good. Orange Cassidy is over as hell. Obviously,
is Yuta signed?
I thought they did sign him, right?
Okay, I knew WWE they were after him.
They were after him. Well, according to SRS, Sean Ross Sapp, he said that earlier this year when he had a tryout and they didn't sign him. That's when some big time wrestlers in NXT at the time were like, "Ooh, this might be going down a different path here. Because if they're not signing that guy, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing here?"
Yeah, and then they came out and said, "No, we're not looking for independent wrestlers." And I'm like, "Dickheads."
Yeah, and they were like, "No, we want people we can build from scratch into what we want.
We want Play-Doh people."
Correct. But yeah, dude, this was another tag match. Adam Cole as over as can be, and I love that he's with Bobby Fish. We know the history of them. Clearly, they were just part of probably one of the biggest factions that NXT. It's the biggest faction NXT has ever had, but one of the more popular, better factions under the WWE umbrella for the last handful of years. We know the history. I love how they're together. I love how they're referencing that they're like best friends. They're like brothers, things of that nature. And I love how Adam Cole.
Something we missed talking about Dynamite. Chucky.
Oh yeah, how Chucky was like, "You doing this? You doing this over here?
Whatever this is.
Whatever this is." Yeah, that was good. I did miss that. Yeah, dude. I'll let you kind of lead here, but I thought this was again just an awesome, fun ass tag match between these four. Man,
like my notes here, super fun opener. Already a better show than last week's.
Mm-hmm.
That would be hard. Last week opened with Darby and Billy Gunn.
It was tough.
How anyone can still think OC is no good is mind-blowing to me. It's beyond me. Absolutely no idea. He is so good. Mm-hmm. His style isn't for everyone. I get it. But he is a talented professional.
Dude, he hit I agreed there. That match was fun. He hit a double Hurricanrana. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
He just hit a double Hurricanrana on both Cole and Fish. Like it was literally like nothing. 1 second he's standing there with his hands in his pockets, and then he hits a double Hurricanrana.
The guy can hit stuff with his hands in his pockets that people can't hit.
Regular.
It's ridiculous. He is super talented.
Yeah, man.
People should have figured that out after his match with Park at the first Revolution.
I agree. That was the first. I mean, that was the first time a lot of us probably ever saw him wrestle. That was the first time I ever saw him. I knew the shtick.
It was an amazing introduction.
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, man. This match was fun. It also served to me as a reminder why Yuta was so sought after. He's just of that current crop of people that they've plucked from, you know, the IWTV banner, you know, himself, Moriarty, Garcia, so forth. They're just all so good. They're crisp. They're clean. They love what they do. And going to AEW is a perfect fit for these people because they get to do what they love and they're not told to be something different to what got them over on the indies.
Yeah. 100%.
And to me, that's a big tick. This also confirmed to me that if Kyle does leave NXT and he does go to AEW, they cannot reform Red Dragon fast enough.
Yeah. Now, do you think
this was proof that Bobby is such a good tag team wrestler?
Oh yeah,
he's just ridiculously good.
Yeah,
ridiculously good.
That the Avalanche Falcon arrow that he does, he picked up the win with it in this match. That is so friggin' good, man. That is such a cool looking move. Brutal.
So good.
Brutal.
So good.
Brutal. I'm glad that they picked up the victory with that.
Yeah. Take over for 2 seconds. I gotta ring my son's mother back.
Okay. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, let me know in the chat. We're talking Rampage here afterwards, and I'll get Matt's opinion when he comes back. But afterwards, after this match, we had Tony Schiavone interviewing Tony Nese in the back, and I know our buddy Bobby in the chat is saying he would like to see Wheeler Yuta versus Tony Nese at some point. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we get Tony Nese in the back, and he's talking to Tony Schiavone, and he says that he wants to challenge for the TNT Championship. He says that Bobby Fish and Jay Lethal did not do their homework, which is why Sammy Guevara is still the champion. Sammy kind of comes out of nowhere, and he's a little fired up a little bit, and he says that he accepts the challenge, and they shake hands, and then Tony Nese hits Sammy with the cheap shot and kind of knocks him over. And then he puts the knee, he has his knee on top of Guevara. And the line that I said, he said, the only reason that you have that title is because people like me weren't available yet. I thought that was a good line. Everyone, or a lot of people probably know where Tony Nese last was. So that makes sense. And the not available thing, everyone knows, they have the non-competes and things of that nature. Yeah, dude, I thought this was a good segment. I'm very excited to see that match. Tony Nese is a very good wrestler. He was always great on 205 Live, and whenever he was given the ball in WWE, when they used him, he was a cruiserweight champion for them. And as Bobby says, I too am very much looking forward to Sammy Guevara versus Tony Nese. I think that's a match that should be really good. That's two really good guys. Guevara is a stud. And Nese is really damn good. So that's something that I am looking forward to immensely. When we come back from the commercial break, we have FTR, and they challenge the Lucha Bros to a 2 out of 3 falls match next week on Dynamite. I mean, the match at the pay-per-view. Did they say it was on Rampage, or I thought they said it was on Dynamite? I could be wrong. But did they announce it for Rampage next week? It has to. It would have to main event Rampage if it's on Rampage. I cannot remember if they said it would be on Dynamite or Rampage. That is my fault. But yeah, I would think if it's on Dynamite, I could see it not main eventing. But if it's on Rampage, it would have to. And yeah, the world title matches are on. So I thought the world title. I at least thought the tag title matches was on Dynamite. I thought. No, you're right. Yeah, so we have those. That's two title matches on Rampage next week. That's pretty good, especially with the world tag titles being 2 out of 3 falls. That's going to be really, really good. That's going to be really, really good. We saw what they could do in their match at Full Gear, and that match was really good. That was a really good match between FTR and the Lucha Bros. Now we get a 2 out of 3 falls. And then the very next night, they're fighting again for the AAA World Tag Team titles. So they're fighting back-to-back nights, potentially up to 4 falls in a 2-night span for FTR and the Lucha Bros. It all should be good. But yeah, let me know in the chat. I don't want to go through the whole show without Matt while he's kind of dealing with what he's dealing with. On Twitter, they have it as a part of Rampage. All right, so we're going to get 2 title matches on Rampage. I mean, that should be pretty good. That's a pretty big Rampage. Yeah. So then if we go further into the show, we had the Black Friday deal match between Britt Baker and Riho. I thought this match was solid. Riho, clearly former AEW Women's Champion. So she has the history there. She held her own. She was, to me, sometimes the size difference, and like Britt Baker is not this massive person by any means, but Riho is like really, really small. And so I think it's just her strikes. They look like there's nothing behind them, kind of. I don't know. That thing kind of bothers me a tad. But other than that, I thought, we're getting Cody versus Andrade in Atlanta Street Fight, and the Dark Order's 5 versus Danielson on Dynamite, as Danielson will continue to kick the head in of every Dark Order member until he fights Hangman. And then on Rampage, we have those 2 title matches. But let me know in the chat what you thought about the Britt Baker Riho match. I thought it was solid. I thought it was okay. Riho ends up getting the victory, which means in the future, Riho will get an AEW Women's Championship opportunity, which is fine because I think everyone knows that the next big match for Britt Baker should be Thunder Rosa. But Thunder Rosa is still in the TBS tournament. She's still involved with that. So it's not something that's going to be happening imminently. And it's one of those things where Britt needs challengers and needs people to wrestle until we can get to the Thunder Rosa match. And Riho, a former AEW Women's Champion, that makes sense. That would make sense that would happen. So it's one of those things where it all makes sense to me. I don't know if they've officially given him the graphic yet, but I think he is. Yeah, I think Tony Nese is signed with AEW. Pretty sure. Yeah, so it's one of those things for me where like Britt's going to have to fight a few people, and if Rio's one of them, that fits what we're looking for here. And then you eventually work your way up to the rematch of Thunder Rosa and Britt, and you go from there. And at the end of the day, like that's what we all want is Thunder Rosa and Britt. It's still my opinion. They have the greatest women's match in the short history of AEW with that Lights Out match. So seeing them in a long form program for the AEW Women's Championship is something that I would very much like to see. We then get, so Riho, she won with it was a roll-up pin. It almost looked like the way that they played it off, like Britt Baker was obviously stunned, which was good. But it was almost like a quick, like they did like the kick out right at 3. So it was real quick. And I agree with you, Dad. Like, shocked me too. I was not expecting it. But like I said a little while ago, like it makes sense. Former champion fighting Brit, gonna take the loss. It makes sense, but I agree with you. It 100% shocked me. I did not expect that to happen. And then we have the Mark Henry interviews 2.0 and Daniel Garcia and Eddie Kingston. 2.0 and Garcia are basically just talking a bunch of shit about what Garcia is going to do to Kingston. Kingston, being Eddie Kingston, insults all three men, said he's ready for a fight, so let's just go and fight. And then they have a main event, and the main event is Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia. This was a real good match. Daniel Garcia is so good. And like Matt said earlier when we mentioned him, he's only like 22, 23 years old. He's so good, and he has a lot of trust. He's fought Punk. He has fought Moxley. He's fought Kingston. They put him in big roles against big-time people, and he lives up to the bill every time. This match was good. They started locking up and doing some chain wrestling at the beginning of the match. Kingston hitting his heavy chops to Garcia. Garcia's returning the favor. Kingston starts to bite the ear of Garcia at one point. Kingston goes, it looked like he was going for like a suplex of sorts, but he like twisted it around and Garcia went face first into the mat. I thought that was, I don't know if it was a mess up that they just made look good or if it was just like a new move of sorts, but I thought that was a cool little spot. Then we did a picture-in-picture a little bit. But when we get back from picture-in-picture, Garcia is just kicking Kingston over and over again. Kingston is selling a knee injury. Then Kingston is put into a knee bar on the bad knee from Garcia. So they're adding to that. Kingston hits a really nice powerbomb on Garcia too. And then they start going back and forth towards the end here. Both Kingston and Garcia are exchanging multiple punches, just kind of wailing at each other, which was really cool. Then Kingston hits an enziguri. Garcia hits a drop kick. So they're going back and forth. And then Kingston hits the Saito suplex, and then he hits the spinning backhand. And Kingston gets the win from Garcia. I mean, it was a real good match. It was back and forth. After he wins, 2.0 immediately gets in the ring and starts attacking Eddie Kingston after the match. And Jericho, who was at the the commentary table for Rampage, he comes down and makes the save and runs off 2.0 and Garcia. And the show goes off the air with both Jericho and Kingston kind of pointing at 2.0 and Garcia in the ring. Yeah, so that was Rampage. Obviously, Matt had to duck out a little bit early. Life things happen. I'm not really much of a solo guy, so I did my best. Hopefully, I entertained you as best I could. I don't know. It's kind of hard talking to just the people in the chat or just talking to yourself. But, yeah, I thought it was another episode of Rampage that was really good. Last week's was a little bit of a downer. It was, I think, probably the worst one that they've produced since the whole thing started. But yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. The tag match was really fun. The women's match led to a future championship match, which should be a good one. And then, thank you. Thank you for the love, people. I appreciate it. I try my best. Yeah, and then the Garcia Kingston match was awesome. But yeah, I think we're gonna get out of here because I'm by myself, so I'm kind of wow. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Dara, thank you for all the comments. Dara, amazing. You're always here. You always got the facts that back us up when we don't know certain things. You're always just really good in the chat. You're one of our best fans. So I want to thank you for being in here all the time and supporting us at Love Wrestling like you do. I do want to thank RK Athletics. They are the sponsor. They have been since the beginning. You can follow them on RK Athletics 1 on all the social medias. And I want to thank, most of all, I want to thank all of you for joining us here. I know Saturday, middle of the day, late afternoon is kind of a weird time. So, Bobby, thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. You've been here for a few weeks with us now. Appreciate you hopping in and being so involved in the chat. Hope to see you every week that we're doing this thing. So for Matt, I will speak for him since he is not here. But for Matt, I want to thank all you guys. Tune into Love Wrestling. We will have Sunday brunch this Sunday, and we're releasing shows. We got Spencer with his interviews. We have articles galore on the website lovewrestlingca.com. I'm sorry, lovewrestling.ca. Everything is. We're doing really big things. We just hit 1,000 followers on YouTube this week, which was a good thing that we were celebrating on. Oh, he's back for the end. Here he comes. He's back for the triumphant run-in.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I went through the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So I will let you speak. Obviously, I talked about the Riho Britt Baker match. So I mean, if you want to give your thoughts on that, for sure.
Right. Excuse me. Sorry. The son wanted to chat. So
all right.
when the son wants to talk,
Parrish?
I have to be nice. Parrish, what's up, brother? This match was fun enough. It was sloppy early for me. But once it got going, it was fine. It was fine. But I don't like when WWE do it. So AEW ain't going to get a pass on it either.
Roll up.
I fucking hate the pin the champ to get a title shot. I hate it. I don't like it. Never have, never will. I don't care if it was announced that was a stipulation. Don't book it. I don't care.
It's
if
fair.
Riho had won this, like pin Britt off a surprise roll up in a tag match or a 6-man tag, and she's like, "Oh, I pinned the champ. I reckon I can beat her 1-on-1. Yada yada, blah blah blah." Okay, cool. That didn't happen here.
Yeah.
I get that Britt has never beaten Riho. I understand that. I don't need to see arguably the most dominant women's champion in AEW history, the number 1 women's draft pick, the face of their division, losing non-title matches.
I agree.
I don't need it. I don't want it.
It should be an automatic shot, but they don't need to do it all the time.
And AEW don't need to do it all the time. But you know what's better than not doing it all the time? Not fucking doing it at all. Don't do it. Don't book it. Don't book yourself into that corner. We know Britt's going to beat Riho when the match happens.
Yeah, but that's fair.
I just don't like it.
Yeah. And then I obviously talked about which I thought was a real damn good main event. Between Eddie Kingston and Daniel Garcia. So I will let you lead. They already heard my boring ass opinion. So I will let you kind of talk about your opinions of the match and what you thought about it.
I was gone a little longer than I expected. Apologies.
It's all good, brother. I held down the fort, or tried to at least.
Yeah, you good at what you do, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, they did this segment before the main event where they get both sides of the
story. They do it every week.
They do it every week. Yeah, apparently so. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Not really.
Kingston just laughing at Garcia was just amazing. It's the kind of arrogance that made you think, oh, Garcia can beat this man.
Oh yeah.
Eddie's overlooking Garcia, so he can beat this man. But this match humped. It was so damn good.
Real good.
And you know what? I reckon Eddie Kingston would have grabbed Garcia backstage, hugged him, and said, "Thank you very much."
Yep, I agree.
Because Daniel was just beating the shit out of Eddie, and he was taking it right back.
Yes,
didn't even flinch.
It
was just
brawling. They were biting. The brawling part towards the end where they were just swinging at each other, and then
slapping at each other.
They're slapping and swinging at each other Kingston hit the enziguri, followed right by the drop kick from Garcia. It was really, really good. Parrish, thanks for popping in for a few minutes, my friend. Have a good match tonight. Stay safe in there, and hopefully you pick up a W. But much love, brother. Have a good showing tonight, my friend.
That's it. Stay safe. That overhead, like half tiger suplex thing, Garcia landed
like
square
on his face,
on the back of his noggin. Oh no, the one who was landing back.
Oh, when he landed on the back of his head. Yes, that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big oof. That, but yeah, Eddie winning was the right call because Eddie needed a win. He's lost some luster, but Garcia loses nothing here. He elevates again. He's
just from being in the ring with these people, you know.
People want to sit here and complain about 2.0 and Garcia or whatever they want to do. That's fine. That's fine. Since 2.0 have been there, you know, the former Ever-Rise in NXT, the Eternal Jokers, they have worked Moxley, Kingston twice or several times, Punk, Darby Allin, and Sting, and potentially could be looking at a brief run against Jericho.
Yep. Think about that. That's a
fucking resume to hang your hat on.
Yeah. Real good.
Whether they lose all those matches or whatever, and
which they probably will. They probably will.
Yeah, and people had their, you know, their beef with the table spot against Sting and the fact that he's 60, blah, blah, blah. Mate, just being in the ring with these people, you know, most of these people they idolized.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a resume. It's a real big resume. And I just want to go back, and because I was talking about it and I sort of cut myself short because I could hear my phone ringing when we were at the start of the show, Rampage. And I was talking about Bobby Fish.
Yes.
One person I left out of that was Adam Cole. I'm seeing a lot of Twitter
about
brethren talking about, Adam Cole left, you know, the spot where OC out wrestled him and then he sort of put his arm around him and smiled and gave him one of those.
Yeah.
Evan, we're all big JPJ fans, man. Everyone, even me. I'm a mark.
I appreciate all of you.
for the dub. People keep saying, I can't believe Adam Cole left NXT WWE for this.
Yeah. I haven't addressed it because for me, go ahead. Yeah.
He's working alongside his
best
fiance,
friends.
girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
His best friends. He just had a 5-star match on pay-per-view, whether you believe it or not. It's
that's what it was rated.
World renowned. It's the world renowned amounts of ratings forever as a 5-star match. And he gets to, you know, he works 1, maybe 2 days a week. Gets to spend time at home. Gets to do his streaming stuff and whatever makes him happy. And and he's got a built-in feud with Hangman for the title if they want to go that route. We know he's feuding with Omega when Omega comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And just the fact that he's only working 1 or 2 days a year, goes home, relaxes, does what he wants to do or whatever he has to do, that's longevity to your career.
Yep.
And if you're going to begrudge someone for doing that, that's a you problem. That's not an Adam Cole problem.
No. If you're going to judge anybody for doing something that they think is best for them, you got an issue, man. That's not the other person's problem. Like, you need to work on yourself. You got to work on yourself.
You need to evaluate your life choices, not the other way around.
You know, someone that I work with, they come up to me and they say, "Hey, man, I'm quitting. I'm going over here." And I go, "Oh, all right. You think that's a good move for you?" And they go, "Yeah, I do." I go, "All right, man. Good luck. Good luck, man. You got to do what you got to do."
Absolutely.
Like, what? It's just, I don't know.
It's mind blowing the amount of people who keep saying it.
No. And we have Evan Wright in the chat. He says, I believe this is referring to Cole. He says, people need to tune into AEW games where he plays games with Evil Uno. He looks the happiest I've ever seen him. So
I've seen it a few times. I wouldn't say it's the happiest. The happiest I've ever seen him would be when he was part of the party with Creed and Breeze and stuff. And that was just 4 guys doing what they love to do and just having fun and blah, blah, blah. And AEW games are similar with Uno and stuff, but you can't begrudge someone for wanting to, him and Britt can catch a plane together. They can travel together every week, to and from, work there 1 or 2 days a week, do what they want for the rest of the week. I just don't understand how people can be so hateful and negative towards someone for wanting that for themselves. I don't get it.
I don't either. I just feel like it's just the nature of social media and just kind of it's always everybody's not always going to be happy. Somebody's going to be complaining. It's just, I don't know. The reason why I haven't addressed it up until now is because I see that stuff and I just kind of roll my eyes and I go, all right, well, like he's clearly having a good time and he's clearly wants to be there. He made the choice to go there. WWE was offering him contracts. Yeah. So he clearly made the decision to go there. And like, he just got there, and AEW has shown, and everyone says, him and Britt can take a trip to Mexico, and Old Man Conan could put the AAA mega title and AAA women's title on them on a win. It's true. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I feel like AEW, maybe not with Brian, because he's only been there for a little bit and he's already in the title picture, but like AEW has done a good job of like when these big names that from elsewhere show up, they have like, look what happened with Miro. Miro was kind of doing like whatever until they were ready to push Miro. Like
they sort of like to establish them a little bit in their own way.
Josh, what is going on? The great Josh Robinson in the chat. Hello, my friend.
Hopefully you had a good birthday, Josh.
I think he did, although I thought I saw that the second shot ruined him. He got the second vaccination shot.
Second Pfizer. Ooh.
And I saw on the social medias that he said it whipped his ass. It whipped his ass. But I hope you're feeling better. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. But I hope it gets better for you. Hope it's a little bit better today than it was. But man.
Much love as always, Josh.
Luckily I didn't get any symptoms when it came to my shots. But I know it has, as Josh said, fucked up some people. So
my first one destroyed me.
There you go.
24 hours only, but it fucked me up.
Yeah, ruined you. But on that note, we're gonna get out of here, dude. Hour and 45 minutes. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Two good shows, man. 2 good shows. Yeah, I thought this week was a really good week of AEW, like a really good week. Yeah. I mean, most of them are really good weeks, but this one was like real good. But Matt and I, Franchise and I, will be back next week, same time, 5 p.m. Saturday, for another edition of the Weekend Elite Report. But stay tuned to Love Wrestling. Josh will have another video coming up. It's usually Sunday night my time. That's usually when they release. But we'll have a Sunday brunch tomorrow. You can catch me on Between
the flagship.
2 Beards. Yeah. You can catch me on Between 2 Beards Thursdays at 8:30. Me and Matt here every Saturday for you for all the AEW talks. Evan, thank you for popping in, man. He says I'll catch the rest of the show. But thanks for the great content. We appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate you popping in here. Astrid, as always, you're wonderful. Thanks for the support. Yeah,
we
man.
Love Astrid.
We do. We are an Astrid loving show. That's what we are.
I'm a mark for the Pizarro.
On that note, Matt, say goodbye to the people. Let them know where they can find you on the socials and all that fun stuff, and we will get out of here, my friend.
At the _ franchise. Yes, that's right. You heard it correct. 2 underscores because some other bastard took the single underscore. So, yeah. Twice the underscores because I'm twice the fun.
That is true.
Otherwise, I'm just back here next week with you because, although I live here by myself every second week, the other person still has a key to this place and just likes to wander in whenever she likes. So, I don't plan nothing anymore until I'm out of here.
Fair enough.
So,
Well, one thing you
I
can
will
count
be
on.
here next week with you.
There we go. And you do. Yes, we recorded a whole Full Gear preview with Astrid, and it got lost. It got lost in the shuffle. So we do need a redo with you popping in here again. That is true. Bobby, thank you very much. We appreciate that a lot. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Bobby.
Astrid
Appreciate it.
also puts us over and says we're two of her favorite people. So look at that, huh? Astrid, we'll get you back in here.
Favorite people.
No. Astrid, we'll get you back on here real soon. We'll do something. We'll do something fun. But yeah, for the franchise, from me, I'm JPJ. My socials on the Twitter are right there. Joseph1_ Poulin Jr. We'll be back here next week for another edition of the Weekend Elite Report. Appreciate all of you. Tune into Love Wrestling. Give us a follow, a subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. All that stuff helps us out a lot. Again, we appreciate you, and we will see you next week for another edition of the Weekend Elite Report. But until then, peace out.